nice. You want to do the intro?
So, we are the Breath Mint Podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for listening. My name is Bucci.
I'm Will.
I'm Jonathan.
Yeah, and like I said, we appreciate you listening. So, let's just start it off. Let's get into who we are and what this podcast is about. Because if you're listening, you're probably wondering, why am I spending my time doing this? So, let's talk a little bit about ourselves. Let's introduce ourselves. So, John, you want to get us started?
Yeah, I'll get started. So my name is Jonathan Code. The whole government is right there. I'm from Long Island, Massapequa, New York. Went to Amityville School District.
No one knows where Massapequa is.
Massapequa is in New York. It's in Long Island, okay? We gangsta out there. Nah, not really. But yeah. And I'm a music producer, veteran.
And what, though?
U.S. Army veteran.
Okay.
Yeah, good job. And now I do hard labor working for the man.
You're a slave?
Not a slave, but it feels like that sometimes. I do hard work. I lift inflatables and I set up parties for Jewish people. They have bar mitzvahs, and bat mitzvahs.
You could have said that instead of...
They're Jewish.
All right, people want to think this is a racist podcast to start
No,
off.
it's not. It's a Jewish party. It's called a bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah.
Bat
We
mitzvah,
set up,
actually.
Yeah, bat is
Bat mitzvah.
Bat is the girl. Bar is, bat's girl. Bar is guy.
I knew that.
Or
So guys have bars?
bar, yeah,
Bars.
bar mitzvah's guy. Yeah, so
All right.
I do that. Yeah, that's me. I like to have fun. Like to party.
You're a fun guy like Kawhi.
This is his Tinder's profile, guys.
I like women.
Oh,
That,
God.
that was a question. That was a question. He questioned himself.
I like women. Yes.
Are you
That's
sure?
me. Yeah.
All right. Will, you want to go next?
Sure. So obviously, my name is Will. From JP Mass. For those who don't know, unlike Jonathan over here,
Everybody.
it's like about a 5-minute drive from the inner city of Boston. I do modeling here and there, do a little something out there.
Pretty boy.
Goddamn right I am. You goddamn right.
Oh, you own up to it now.
Oh,
okay.
I goddamn right I do. I sit in that gym all damn day.
Own up to it, right? Word.
I like long walks in the park, you know what I mean? On
Yo,
the beach
come on,
strolling.
Like taking
Nah.
steroids.
Steroids is not a thing that I do. Especially not right now.
No, yeah, we don't need no word raging,
I'll beat yeah, I'd be chilling a lot mostly. I have my 1-year-old, great child named London.
London's
and
adorable, man.
Currently in school for my master's degree right now. And
Dope.
Bucci.
All right. Sorry, let me get my life together. All right, my name is Bucci. I was born in Nigeria. I grew up in the Bronx, New York. I don't do anything that creative, but I mess with music production a little bit on the side.
There you go.
For my full-time job, I work in corporate finance. I have my MBA. So I kind of went the traditional.
Ladies, he's single.
And ready to mingle.
I went the traditional school route. So I'm your typical nerdy guy who loves to turn up too.
He's your new day and age Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yep.
I'm
Carlton.
Carlton though. I'm Carlton Banks.
No, he's Braxton P. Hartnebreak.
I'm Braxton P. Hartenberg from the Jamie Foxx show.
His producer name is Brax P.
Yes.
I
him up.
never caught the connection to that, actually.
Yeah. All right. So now we introduced ourselves. Let's talk a little bit about what this podcast is going to be about. So the name of the podcast is the Breath Mint Podcast. So why do we call it that?
We call it that because we all come from different walks of life and we have fresh perspectives on different aspects of life because we all lived
If you say life one more time.
life
We had different experiences in life.
experiences.
Come on, son.
We got fresh takes. We're young millennials,
And we're black.
and we're black.
Attractive black men, by the way.
Yes, we're
Yeah, we'll have our Instagram pages so we can see us. We don't catfish out here.
we slide in the DM and whatnot.
Yeah. So basically, I think I agree. I think this podcast is about having a fresh take. So if any of y'all seen the movie The Wood, there's a scene or a couple of scenes where there's a group of friends. I think it's 3 friends. They're all living like that young black man's sort of high school fantasy or whatever. You're out there, you're hanging out with your friends, you're going to school dances, and of course you got to be fresh, right? So you're always looking for a piece of gum, whatever it is. So I think it was partly about having a fresh take, but it was also partly about our friendships, right? So how do we become friends in the first place? John, let's talk about how you and I became friends.
All right, so we start that. There's a wonderful place called Maury's Camp, Project Maury now. What are you laughing at? That place gave us a lot.
Good.
But yeah, so when we was kids, our parents sent us to this camp. And that's where me and Bucci met.
Great story.
I'm about to get more details if you're gonna let me. Okay.
Go ahead.
But Bucci went there first. You started off as a freshman year. I didn't get there till sophomore, so you can start off as a freshman or sophomore. It's around the age of 9, 10? Mm-hmm. Around 9, 10. So when I came in, I was the new kid in the group, and I guess I kind of no homo gravitated. Me and Bucci became friends. We had similarities. But it wasn't like hardcore friends. Like, we was cool. I was cool with a lot of the kids in the group. There's some kids I wasn't cool with. But Bucci's one of the cool guys. So, throughout the camp years, we was cool, but it didn't start really solidifying until like around PG or post-grad year. That's when we were more teenagers at that camp. And then once we were done with the program, was it a 7-year program?
Yeah. So it was 4 years of undergrad from age 9 to age 13. Mm-hmm. And then 3 more years of the post-grad program. So we all finished when we were like 17.
That's exactly. Yeah. Once we finished, that's when our friendship became more solidified. When we actually got our first year as a counselor, that's when we started getting pretty tight around then. Our first year as counselors, that was a very fun year.
So what'd you do as a counselor?
Me, I was a kid specialist. Remember? That first year I was a kid specialist.
Define that, please.
Can I finish? You gotta let me finish, okay?
I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Kid specialist is the person that walks around with the kids 24/7. We do all the activities with them. We make sure they get in bed. We make sure they wake up in the morning. Kind of keep them on track throughout the day. The first year, I was a kid specialist.
But then you did the music thing too.
Yeah. Then the second year I came back to camp, I was a kid specialist, but my main thing was activity specialist with their music studio. So, yeah. And then, but we're talking about us being friends.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason why I wanted to bring up the music studio is because camp was the place that I learned to, have a passion for music. I never had any music training or anything like that, but when I was at camp, we had the opportunity to just play around with instruments. So I can beat on some drums. I can like play a piano, pick up a cymbal or whatever it was. And then when we got a little bit older, we got to tinker around with the studio. We got to make beats. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about you, but it was the first time that I had the opportunity to make beats. And that's a connection that you and me have because,
that's very true.
we follow the same sort of producers and musicians over the years. And from what I know, music has been the strongest thing that connected us and solidified our friendship over the years.
Yeah. Yeah, and it first started because I was into it even like from the whole time I was in camp, and I know you had a fascination with it, especially when I used to play the drums and stuff like that for the camp talent show. You remember that? Mm-hmm. Played the drums. Yeah, but like I said, after those counselors, our friendship started getting more, and we started hanging out outside of camp. Going out, you showed me pretty much. You made me fall in love with the city, pretty much. Because when I first started going to the city, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yep.
And then you told me all the spots, all the fucking clubs and shit. And from then, it's like I still want to move out of Long Island. I hate Long Island. I want to go to the city.
What's wrong with Long Island for those who don't know much about Long Island?
Everything.
Well, I would say I would always gonna say everything. I mean, Long Island's cool, but Long Island is a little slow for me. It's more to do in the city. Long Island is hard to find stuff to do. You gotta drive everywhere. If you don't have a car, it sucks for you. Especially if you're in there's Nassau County, Suffolk County. Nassau County, as you get closer to the city, there's more public transportation. So Nassau County isn't too bad, but Suffolk County is deeper out east, I guess east. Less public transportation. Everything's a little further out, and it's real slow. Like stuff closes early and stuff like that. So like, it's just slow for me out there. That's the thing. Long Island's cool. I feel like I could probably rotate back to Long Island in my 50s, and I enjoy it out there.
And then specifically, as a black man in Long Island, what's your experience like there?
We're in my specific town. This is funny. So my specific town, Massapequa, is actually very weirdly split. On my end of town is black and Spanish. All the way, it's for people. I mean, people don't know. So like, for where I'm at, and there's a road called Carmen's Road that bleeds into Sunrise Highway, and pretty much if you're standing on that road and you look to your left,
This motherfucker being ways out here.
well, on my side, all the way through Sunrise and where Massapequa is all black and Spanish people.
It sounds
but if you
slow out
cross
there.
that road, it's all white people. And
Also, there's like a road that divides the
Yeah,
black
it's
and Hispanic people from the
Yeah.
white people.
I don't know if it's intentional, but that's pretty much what it is. You cross it's all white, and then our side, we all go to Amityville School District, which is like almost 90%, minorities. If you go on the other side of that, they go to Massapequa, which is almost 90% Caucasian. It's crazy. So, but like, I didn't experience too much racism or anything, just because I grew up around black and Spanish people.
Okay.
I didn't experience the racism and anything like that too much. But, from what I heard, the Massapequa High School or that school district wasn't any much better just because it was, white people. They actually had a big drug problem in their school, which we didn't have. We had a lot of gangs and fighting.
But you didn't mess with the heroin.
Yeah, they had heroin and opioids and stuff like that. They had that kind of problem. That's just, I think that's, you could say it's hard dealing with gangs and stuff like that, but the drug thing is totally different because, like, I don't know, I feel like it's harder to recover from.
I had no idea. But so then you grew up in Massapequa, you went to camp, and then for college you went to Hartford, right?
Yeah.
So that's where you met Will. So talk a little bit about how that.
I don't know who Mill is, but I know who Will is.
I'll explain that. So I met John in math class actually, and I didn't like John. To be completely honest, John came out to me about some party or whatever, asked if I was going. I obviously agreed. I was going to the playing party or whatever. Exchanged numbers, told me to meet him that night so we can pregame and head out. Before I could leave or even get ready for the party, John had blew up my phone at least 6 times to meet up at my at my dorm.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember that very damn well. I was super mad. I wasn't even dressed yet. And I get to the party or whatever. Met John, and at first I said I was a little standoffish with the guy, but I watched John talk to women in a different way that I was talking to them.
Define different.
For me personally, I prefer to talk to someone face to face first, and then dance with them at some point. John was on some come behind you real quick in the dark. And start grinding my dick up on your ass.
Yo, I wasn't a creep like that, okay? Why you make me sound like a creep?
John sounds like a member of the Creep Squad right now.
No, listen, you got to...
No, hold on. So not in a creepy way, in like a very R&B-ish way-ish. I say ish because it wasn't that smooth, but he was trying.
So still...
However, he did put me onto that, so I was able to do that more often and like get my own confidence with the way I approach women, which is why I enjoy hanging out with the guy a little bit. He brought me on my show a little bit more. Still annoying as shit, but brought me on my show. We started chilling more often after that, like almost daily, actually, after that.
Yeah.
And
I made him realize his potential.
Pretty much.
All right.
There was definitely a point where I was talking to someone who remained nameless, where John pulled me aside and was like, "You could do better than this." and then I
remember that night too.
abruptly walked away in that exact moment.
Wait, can you just give us a little anecdote of what went down and
Yeah.
why did he want you to walk away?
So I invited John over to meet a few women friends that we met at a campus, and he wasn't impressed, to say the least.
Not at all.
What were you not impressed by, John?
The looks. These there was a skinny girl with big eyes. And there was a short, kind of chubby girl with shark teeth.
That was not me, by the way.
And then there was, what was the other one? Dark skin one, right?
No, you think I won't say her name almost, but you're thinking of the Italian one with long hair from Jersey. She had the big boobs.
Oh, is that the one that took you?
No, God no. Would have been nice actually, but no, not her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I know. Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they just were. I was 18. I'm ready to go get it in college. You know, I see. You know, I was around the time. What was the name of that show? The college show was.
Was it Jersey Shore, College Hill? Like, what do you?
College Hill.
College Hill.
College Hill.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, I think wrong. I think I had seen some college, and I had that like in my head, like just
Yeah.
pretty women in college.
So y'all had an idea of what like being in college and being like social in college was supposed to be like.
Getting A's and getting laid.
Okay.
So when I seen him with those girls, I was like, nah. And like, you know, Will's a decent looking guy. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm
he's
gorgeous.
a model now. So you know, and back then he was just slimmer. So I'm like, yo, you come on, man. You're gonna waste his potential on these women? You know, let's up the ante.
So John literally pulled me aside in the same dorm room as these women and was like, "You can do better." I look around the corner at the individual.
It was so funny.
I look back at John. I said, "You know what, my dude, you're right." And we walked over to them politely. Said, "Hey, you know what? Have a good night. We out." And I ain't never looked back. Never looked back.
Immediately
Since.
started upgrading.
Yeah, and then we developed the mountain chart.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got to tell us about the mountain chart. I've never even heard of this, so I want to know what that is.
Wow, yeah. Yo, son. We always had this talk when Lloyd.
Lloyd, yeah. So our boy Lloyd, who's not here, me, John, Lloyd developed the mountain chart, where basically we put the best looking woman, in our opinion, at the top of the mountain, who we wanted to talk to eventually on the school campus was. And then there were levels to it. So we felt that, your base level is where you're at now, and you make camp wherever you're talking to somebody else, the next step up. And, in the chart. So, without using names, I'm really trying hard not to do so.
Really hard.
It's very hard not to. You make a little camp, put your flag down, cool, I'm here for a minute, and then you gotta move forward until you get to the top of the mountain at some point in time in your career.
Can I just say something? If y'all were women, I think people will call you gold diggers. But I'm just saying. But it's all good. Let's just continue.
I mean,
I'm a look digger. Like, you gotta look.
yeah, it was more like
Right.
look digger, you know? Like, we were so superficial. We just want the baddest chick we could find, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, with that chart, I think we all ended up interacting with all those girls. I don't know if we
No, we
bagged
did.
them all.
We didn't actually end up
definitely
bagging. We
interact.
definitely ended up in the same circle of friends as them, at the very least.
Oh, okay. So you had a mountain, but ended up in the friend zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, but some of those...
But it was like a okay friend zone because I think we felt the confidence of actually getting to that point and speaking to them because they were older than us too. They're older, they're more mature, at least from what we knew at that point in
we were
time.
freshmen, you know?
Yeah, we were freshmen,
Yeah.
and they were like sophomores and juniors and stuff,
Yeah,
and
even seniors.
seniors too. And we got to a point where we had the confidence to speak to them and be in that same ballpark and know that we belong with them. So
Yeah, and I think that's the experience that you guys had, and as part of your college experience, you guys went to college away from home, right? Like you were
Yep.
on your own. You had to be responsible for your finances and all that stuff. Like I went to college. I'm from the Bronx. I went to college in Manhattan, and I took the train to school just like I did in high school. I lived at home just like I did in high school. So I didn't have the opportunity to really come out of my shell and be really social and have the confidence that you guys did, because I just felt like I was still in high school, but just studying more difficult shit.
yeah. Well, no, I get that.
Yeah.
That's like kind of similar to that. So for me, when I was in school in Boston, I went to a majority of white high school. as we all know, elementary school, middle school, and high school. So that's why I say I gotta credit John a lot for bringing me out my shell, because I was never exposed to the massive amount of black people that I was exposed to. Like, I was around it, of course, when I was home, but I was in the house doing homework or playing sports, so I wasn't really that social with everybody. So when I met John, I was able to kind of like, I lived it, you know what I mean? So I was actually experiencing like just being black normally around other black people, as opposed to just playing sports and constantly being involved in the sport and constantly having to like work hard to get other places. So I credit him for that a lot, actually. I don't tell him because he's a bit of an asshole, but
Come on, man.
but I do credit him for that part. And then obviously meeting yourself, Bucci, down the line the same year, I credit like you, John, Lloyd, Rashawn, everyone in our group of friends for helping me like have that experience after the fact when I got older. Because I said I was always in sport. My mom had me doing sport since I was 7 years old every single season. I never had a season off.
Wow.
Damn. Well, since you mentioned about how we met, I'll kind of chime in there. So, to set the stage, you guys were already at Hartford for your freshman year of college. There was this event called Spring Fling. I didn't know what Spring Fling was because my school didn't have any of those type of events. We didn't even have a real sporting team. So, to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, Spring Fling was it a week long or just a day?
It was a weekend.
Oh, okay,
Weekend,
so it was
yeah.
like a
It was 2 days,
weekend,
yeah, 2 days.
weekend of events. There was like a concert,
T-Pain
performance.
and
Travis Scott came. Was
Not Travis Scott. What?
It wasn't
Travis.
Travis. Travis Scott was like 6 years old then.
I know.
It's
What was the other Travis?
Cupid Hero Cut. Gym Class
Yeah,
Heroes.
Gym Class Heroes.
Heroes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was like an opportunity for me
Travis
to come visit John in school, and I had never gone away for college, so this was my weekend to like feel like a real college student.
That was such a dope weekend.
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun because I got to meet John's friends. Will, obviously, Lloyd, who hopefully will be on a future podcast episode. But we just, we all went out together. That was like, honestly, that was one of the first times where I had a weekend to just bond with a group of guys, because growing up, I was never really close with that many guy friends. So literally after that weekend, all y'all became my boys.
Yeah.
And that was a dope time. The funniest... I'm trying to be serious, this motherfucker. And so the funniest story that I can remember from that weekend, John, do you remember your roommate?
That
my
man
God.
was super creepy.
Oh my goodness.
Lord have mercy.
Like,
dude.
in retrospect, the guy, he did not fit with you culturally.
It was like night and day.
He was a gamer, right?
Yeah.
He was a gamer. He never showered. He never left his room. Basically, it just
classroom.
your room smelled when I walked in, and I'm like, "What is this? What is going
it was
on?"
not me.
And you just pointed at the corner. I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's why."
And it was crazy. His area would look cleaner than mine, but it would still smell like it was dirty as hell. I did not understand that.
So actually, the funny thing about John's roommate is when I first went to John's room, John had told me it was the middle of the night after a party, matter of fact, and John was like, he set the whole thing up for me. He was like, I'm gonna watch this happen. I'm turning the light on. He's gonna squint his eyes real quick. He's gonna put the covers over his head and roll over to the side. Almost instantly, John clicks the light on. My man squints his eyes, cover over his head, and rolls to the side. Roll to the side.
Yo, listen. We don't got to put out. Yo, this guy's name was Gilbert. I don't care.
Dropping names.
Gilbert. There's 1,000 Gilberts in the world.
I don't know. There's not that many
But-
Gilbert. I don't know any Gilbert.
I'm just saying, this is a
Arenas.
cool, I've been just Gilbert Arenas. But just this Gilbert. This gives you the little, like, as somebody just could never forget. I could be 80 years old and still remember my Gilbert.
There's so many stories in that room, though. I remember when John busted his window
I kicked my slipper.
flip flop.
I kicked my slipper into the window.
I wasn't even there for that. I think I was there for that.
No.
Nah.
I think I busted that window a couple of different occasions.
You did.
And they didn't charge me for every time I did it.
Yo, John also busted my window twice.
Yep, I got the scar to prove it. Still right there.
So why did you bust the window?
we was talking about women, girls, as usual. And we was talking about whose girl situation was worse. Who's having the worst girl trouble? And then I don't remember all the details of arguing, but I remember that at that point, he's like, yo, I'm having a more hard time than you. And he bangs the thing. I'm like, no, I'm having a more hard time than you. I banged the window. I banged the window. The window breaks.
I guess you were having a hard time.
I was having a especially hard time. Yo, I just saw white at first. I was like,
Oh yeah, when you
when
cut
they
yourself
said
in the
BJ
skin,
was
it's
white,
white
It was
first
it was
before
it
it's
was
red.
for the white meat. It was
white
bad.
meat. I cut myself with the white meat. Walking around, I tried to put Vaseline on it. Yo, I went to sleep, woke up, and there was like blood on the floor. I had to get an ambulance, and they had to give me stitches. It was crazy. And I swear, I didn't even start getting any until Gilbert left for a weekend. That first weekend he left, I think I lost my
It
virginity.
became a trend.
Yeah.
Well, you said you lost your virginity the weekend your roommate left.
John became a trend. Whenever Gilbert left, John magically got some almost within the same hours. Like
so crazy.
Gilbert hopped on the bus. John's
At one point, there was a certain very beautiful chocolate young lady that came
I remember her.
to visit me. She would not wait for that dude to leave. He was supposed to leave. He was supposed to leave that night, but had to leave the next morning. It was going on while he was there. He was kissing, he was digging out, and then I was just like, screw it. She was just like, screw it. I was trying to be nice, and then she said, screw it.
Is it impolite to get it in while
No.
someone else is in the same room as you?
Nope. Hell no.
I mean, that's the asshole way to say it, but
okay.
it is impolite.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
But at the same time, it's also impolite for you to be in your room 24/7 with a, and you got a roommate who probably gets more than you would ever see. And I don't
You
know.
really don't like Gilbert, huh?
Yo, listen,
Gilbert would bring back food. Like I've watched Gilbert go to the Commons,
Yeah.
get his whole day worth of food, and come back to the room and not move. Maybe take a pee once in a while, but he wasn't going more than 5 feet from that room.
I don't know what Hartford. I don't know why they did that to me. Just imagine how much poo-tang I would have got if I had a different roommate or no roommate.
Wait, hold on. I didn't tell you. I tell you how that year we all left. I got assigned a room with you and Lloyd over in the upper classroom building.
Really?
I remember maybe Lloyd knows, but yeah, we got assigned all three together.
How did what RAs did we know that they would hook us up like that?
Me and Lloyd put in for it,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and then we actually got approved for it, and that August of the following year, so we would have actually got our room together.
That would have been dope. Wow, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we've been good friends for a long time, but I've never lived with you guys. I've never even lived near you guys, so that would have been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's a pretty good introduction. I feel like people know us very well. I feel like they know Gilbert very well, even though he's not here.
Gilbert's the truth, man. It's a goat.
But yeah, so when it comes to this podcast, I think we're gonna have some free-flowing conversations. We're gonna be ourselves, but we're gonna talk about a few themes, a lot of different topics, but we're gonna focus on 5 main themes. So we're gonna talk about pop culture issues. We're gonna talk about relationships, like you heard. We're gonna talk about masculinity. We're gonna talk about health, and of course, we got to talk about friendships because that's pretty important to us. So for this first episode, we are planning to launch or release it around Thanksgiving. So I want to use the rest of our time specifically focusing on Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
I think
I don't like turkey.
you don't like. Oh my God! Here we go. Here we go.
Turkey, you got to be Chef Ramsay to make me like turkey. It's dry. People don't make it good. It's not juicy like chicken. But you finish. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, I want to hear this. I want to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, chicken is chicken. That's different. But
Yeah.
turkey is an occasional meal.
Yeah.
I eat turkey pretty often, actually.
I mean, but a whole ass turkey.
Yeah. You don't eat the legs and the little whole turkey,
The whole.
whole they put the stuff in it.
You eat turkey holes.
No, you put the hole there.
Ladies, John eats the butt. Just so y'all know.
Basically,
John
eats
is
the
a
turkey
butt
bowl.
eater.
Yo, no.
You want your groceries
Eat the
taken
butt.
down?
No.
You want I said licky licky?
No, let me tell you something.
John is your man.
Well, he eats the booty.
I do. I got them. You got
eats
them
the
right.
booty, okay?
Slurpy slurpy.
But, ladies, if you want that box eating, just 1-800, I lick that box.
We just went from Thanksgiving to
Listen, I'm thankful for that box, okay? You want to talk, when they go around the table, what are you thankful for? I'm thankful for that box. Okay,
It
ladies.
brought us here.
Yes. Ladies, you're beautiful.
all right. So
Okay, so back to
Powerful.
Thanksgiving.
no.
Thankful for women.
I think that's interesting. So, what are y'all thankful for? Just in general, like it's around Thanksgiving holidays.
Okay.
What are you thankful for?
If I'm getting to that mode, I'm going to say, one, I'm thankful for... But no, it's so much. It's so
don't know.
much.
All right, I'm gonna start.
You
So,
start off here.
I'm thankful for, being almost 30. I'm in decent health. I've got really good friends. I've got really good family and people around me. I have a good job. I love the people that I work with. I love the company that I work for. I'm still trying to figure out life, but I feel like I'm in a really good place. So I'm thankful that, all the hard work that I put in when I was younger has put me in a place to just be able to enjoy my life with my friends, with my family. So I'm thankful for that.
Oh, definitely. I'll try to follow up after that. I'm thankful for my family as well. I had a great sister, mom, father, amazing 1-year-old, like I said before. Ex-girlfriends as well, because they've helped me grow a lot and different experiences. A close group of guy friends that I value to the end of the earth and would do anything for. And health as well. I'm big on health, as you guys know, and I like to keep up with myself and make sure I'm always healthy and moving forward. And just the experience that I have in life, I'm very much a hour by hour kind of person. I don't stress very often, and I just like to live life as it comes to me.
John?
I'm thankful for my good looks, and that's
That's a
about it. No, let me stop. I'm thankful for that I have great friends. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the fact that God blessed me with being able to attract great people. I seldomly come across people who with bad energy or have bad intentions. It happens to everybody, but for me, it doesn't. I don't think it happens that much. I always say this, I have great friends who want to succeed in life, and I feel like I have I have this close group right here of friends. I have 2 close group of friends, one from the military and then one from just my regular life. And all that good energy and all that good vibes, it helps me throughout my, all my different trials and tribulations through life. So I really am thankful for that. And thankful for my family, I just thankful to meet good people.
Except Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Gilbert
man.
Kick Rocks.
Gilbert, I don't know where you're at right now, bro, but I hope you got some swag or something now. Oof, it was rough.
All right.
But yeah.
Let's talk about some Thanksgiving traditions, right? What was Thanksgiving for y'all growing up? Because I'll say, my family, we moved here from Nigeria, so we had to figure life out. We had to, we were struggling financially when we came here. I'm one of 6 kids, and my mom had to support all of us. And as my siblings got older, they had to support us too. So we couldn't always afford the nicest things or the biggest turkeys, but my family did make sure that we did have that experience of sitting around, with each other, sharing a meal and just being there with each other. So what was some of y'all traditions like?
For me, it was always just being with the family as a whole. It's kind of the same thing. We don't always have the most money or whatever, but the fact that we were all hanging out and all under one roof at one point in time made it an event. Playing spades was huge.
Oh, spades. Okay. I didn't know people play spades at Thanksgiving.
Oh, we bust ass in spades.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
My favorite partner is my great grandmother. For my partner, she taught me how to play spades by busting my ass numerous times and got me better. And then my older cousin would also play, and we would just all play and pretty much, and just dominoes as well. Dominoes and spades were the two big things, and play fighting. My family is big on play fighting and wrestling.
Wow, that's
As
dope.
you guys could not tell, because I play fight with you guys all the time.
Oh, gosh, annoying.
Yeah, my family play fights everybody. Grandmother, grandfather, everybody play fights and gets in on it, yeah. So it's a good time. And
Sounds like fun, actually.
yeah, it's a good time. Like my 92-year-old grandmother still, to this day, punches me in the mouth. So I have a great time.
That's an interesting tradition. But that's dope. That's dope.
That's dope. For me, I guess I would say I had like this same experience. I thank God my parents decided to the jobs they picked were very good jobs. They worked for the city and the state, so they had. I was a little more blessed when I was younger. So we had like our tradition was everybody comes to the house. My mom, works me like a slave, set up the sternos and the pans while she's cooking. And, I'm setting everything, setting up the table, cleaning the bathroom, vacuuming the floor. Got to clean my room. My brother had to clean his room.
So these are traditions, or this is normal day to day.
No, this is what
John only cleaned during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. It'd kill me. No, this was like the guests are coming clean. There was like a regular chores, and there's the guests are coming. We gotta clean everything sparkly. Like dusting, all that stuff, and then my mom would make sure that all right, go find a decent outfit to wear. You don't be looking like no thug in the house, whatever. Go put on some good clothes and. After that, people start strolling in 1, 2 o'clock. All different types of family, cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody would come in. It would just be like it's very like homey, warm Thanksgiving vibe. Like we had the food, all the food was there. My mom's a great cook. My dad was a good cook. They would like kind of split up what they would cook. My dad was good with I think my dad did the turkey most of the time. I think he did the ham. My mom did like the macaroni and cheese.
Her fried chicken is amazing.
I want to say that, but I was trying to
She
stay
would do the
quiet.
fried chicken, yeah.
And
She would do
spaghetti.
chicken. Yep, the spaghetti.
That spaghetti was
Yeah.
that was oof.
And that was also a blessing. My mom and my dad were both like good cooks. How sometimes some people, the mom does most of the cooking.
And they
the dad
cook a
does.
lot too. They cook
Yeah.
some good portions.
So that was always good. It was just a really family, and we was all standing around. My brother, he's a preacher. He's a pastor now. He got ordained not too long ago, but he's been doing that since he was like a kid. So like, we go to church every Sunday, stuff like that. So like, we do the big circle. Everybody says what they're thankful for, and sometimes my brother would do the prayer over the food before we eat. So yeah, that was my Thanksgiving tradition.
It's actually, I think it's interesting you mentioned that both your mom and your dad cooked, because I don't know about y'all, but I don't think that that's something that's very common.
It's not.
I would imagine Thanksgiving, like while the cooking is going on,
The men are asleep, or
the men are asleep or watching
yeah.
sports, watching the NFL before the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, or watching basketball or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So I think it's really interesting that like your dad also took part, because it's like I think about, I'm like, what are men's roles? Because Thanksgiving is centered around food and around family.
Yeah.
So like, what is a man's role during Thanksgiving?
It's definitely family by family based. Like my dad, he's just a different type of guy. The way he grew up and everything. He learned how to cook. He learned how to sew. My mom don't know how to sew. My dad knew how to sew. There's stuff that there's stuff that a lot of stuff my dad knew how to do. So like, that was just him. He just he wouldn't. I mean, my mom would end up cooking more of the food, but he definitely took part. Whereas other families, dad doesn't do anything, or
Right.
other than like maybe help clean the house. So he definitely took part, and then after he did his part, he would go watch his sports or whatever. So
No.
but I feel like
My dad did nothing.
yeah,
My dad slept up until that food was on his plate, and then eat,
And then sleep
back
again.
to sleep. Yep, back to sleep. For me though, I've always been had to be a part of it since I was in a single parent home. So I had to help my mom do stuff to get ready for the parties or get ready for the gathering. So I always helped with making some kind of food. So now with my son, I have him help me make food. So he understands that like it's not a woman's job. It's everyone's job to provide and to do things and to put into set the house how you want it. So I make him help me make macaroni and cheese. I have him help me make his own chicken. So he understands like it's not for your mother just to do. It's for you to help your mom do that.
I wish you had a soundboard. We could just put the cheering. Woo! 'Cause that was like one of the moments. Yeah.
Oh, shut the hell up.
Get the brownie points for that.
No, but yeah.
Speaking of, we
Ladies,
made
Willow single?
We made yesterday. We made brownies yesterday, and he enjoyed the hell out of that. So
yeah, and
Oh, you made brownies?
yeah,
Oh, dope.
I was gonna say because I definitely grew up around the kitchen, and I would always help out to cook, but even if it was just to do the dishes or watch my mom cook, that was great. My mom is an amazing cook, and
Yeah, but you make some good eggs. I'm not gonna lie.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my omelets are amazing.
Omelets is dope.
omelets, yes.
Yeah,
Eggs a
like-
little runny sometimes. For my
Nah,
taste.
but I
For my
like it.
taste.
Oh, yeah. I like
Omelets
them.
still on point, but
But no, I will say that's the thing about I think when families and like mothers make sure that their son is involved in the kitchen and cooking. Like not only will you step up and do your part in the future, but you'll also like take more of an appreciation. And I know like a lot of adults, a lot of millennials nowadays, we don't even cook.
Yeah.
So I know for me, because I'm a little busy with work, I travel, I don't cook a lot, and I end up spending so much money on ordering food. But when I do cook, I save a lot of money, and I get to try new recipes or try some of
Yeah,
my mom's recipes.
I think we should definitely millennials should explore cooking for themselves more. I think honestly, I think millennial women still do. I mean, let me not say that because a lot of the females too, they do still cook for themselves, but then some of them like they don't cook at all. They the same way they'll order food. It's like it depends.
I think people in general should be more based on that, like back in the day kind of mindset in a way where, for example, like for me, with me raising my son now, I see more. You know what I mean? Like how we were raised versus how others are raised. Like
Yeah.
how the kids now are raised basically, where technology is a big thing for them and cooking is not so much a thing. I make sure my son is not on the phone as much unless he's talking to me or his mother, or he's outside playing constantly. He's learning how to cook. He's learning like how to clean after himself. Like you don't need to pay anybody to do things that you can do for yourself. So those things I want to instill in him now early on, prior to him getting older and like being set in ways where he's dependent on finding out information through a phone. Like, that's crazy to me. Like go outside, learn what a duck is. You see him
Yeah.
face to face. You know what I mean? Like learn nature, learn how to like be around these things, learn how to be involved in the social world, and
Learn how to be face to face social.
yeah,
just
and
through a
not so
screen.
stuck on your phone, and when you're once you're out in the world, be socially awkward and unknowing how to handle things. I think kids now, personally, for lack of a better word, are soft. I think a lot of times they don't know how to handle pressure. They don't know how to handle stress, and
Because everything could be handled through a text message.
exactly, or you're faceless behind a profile on Instagram. And you can talk crazy all you want, but then you have no real consequences once someone's in your face.
And that's interesting because, like, now with like how with Thanksgiving, how, technology impacts Thanksgiving. Like, imagine like back in the day, Thanksgiving phones not advanced. Everybody engaged with each other, they played spades, stuff like that.
Exactly.
Wonder how Thanksgiving is now. Like most everybody's doing this on the phone.
You're not
The whole house.
You're not as connected.
Yeah.
You're into your phone. You're looking up things. You're on Instagram. The most connection people have nowadays, I feel like, especially at Thanksgiving, is, "Hey mom, look at this meme real quick."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone laughs for a quick second, and then moves back to the phone again, doing the exact same thing beforehand. You lose that connection. You lose that you lose all sense of love or happiness of being together, and in the sense of a phone.
But I think, technology is not going anywhere. Phones aren't
Absolutely
going
not.
anywhere. Instagram isn't going anywhere. Well, Instagram could go away, but like the whole social media connectivity, and like if the other 364 days out of the year or whatever, we are on our phones all the time. it's difficult for me to just say I'm just gonna put my phone away for 5 or 6 hours, even though like I miss my family members or like we're traveling from different cities to come see each other. I still feel like I want to keep my phone near me because I like knowing like what's going on in the world. I like knowing what like my friends that I'm connected with are up to. I like knowing like who just posted a selfie and I want to like it. So I can't really let go of that.
I think it's a mindset though, and I say that only because of all things to be taught by. I was taught by a 1-year-old 2 days ago, where he took my phone from me and put it down somewhere else and was like, "This is me and your time," and that showed me like where my priorities lie at, and it was like, you know what, you're absolutely right. So now it's like I make sure to set aside 2-3 hours. Phone got to be somewhere else where I can't even see it or even remember it's there. And it's just me and his time to hang out, do what he needs to do. And when he's not around me now, I still make the time to like have my me time, off my phone, and just engage with my surroundings pretty much. So these are all mindset. And for a 1-year-old to teach me that was huge, because he doesn't know much else, but he knows that this phone is taking up me and his time, and he knew enough to like take it from me and was like, "That's over here now. This is like us."
This is us, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's the most annoying thing too? Like with this technology now is like during these holidays, I feel like I have to just text everybody, "Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving."
Oh yeah, I hate that.
I'm like, sometimes you hit somebody up like Happy Turkey Day or whatever. I'm like, I sometimes just don't want to do it. I'm just like,
It feels forced.
It's just my family. I just want to do it with my family, But then you seem like an asshole if you don't send everybody a Happy Turkey Day text or whatever.
But
like,
John, you like leaving people on red all the time.
That is very true.
I'll leave people around. What are you talking about? I'll do that.
You send read receipts, bro. You serious?
I'm about to disable that shit. I'm disabling.
We got
receipts.
receipts.
Yeah, but that's always annoying. I don't know.
No, I agree with that, because it feels like an obligation more than like a want to say something. Like obviously, you guys know, if like you guys outside of you guys, I don't mind. I don't mind here and there, but personally, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, me
like
neither. Exactly.
enjoy your day. I'll enjoy my day. I'll talk to you next day. Like I don't see it.
Time. Yeah.
Exactly, but that's just me.
All right. So my last question about Thanksgiving that I have is about relationships.
Ooh.
When's the right time to invite a significant other to Thanksgiving? Like, do you have to be dating for a really long time? What if you met someone and you just really like that person? Is like, when do you invite them over?
Personally, for me, time. I think time is relative. Time is relative. No,
Time is an illusion.
time is an illusion. For me, I don't. I like to nowadays. I like to go off vibes. I don't think. I mean, yeah, like introduce somebody. If let's say you dated her a week before Thanksgiving and you want to bring her Thanksgiving, week. I think that's too soon. But like for me, it's all about like how you guys vibe with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's more about when you're dating this person, like. You could tell, pretty early on if you feel like they're like, you could bring them around your family. You know what I'm saying? You dating, getting to know somebody, you learning about them, and you could see, and you know who your parents want you, like not who they want you to be with, but who like, you could bring home.
Who would mesh well with your family?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta, So I think in that essence, like, yeah, you gotta give it some time to know if they're gonna mesh well with the family. You know what I'm saying?
So then, if you're talking to someone and you're vibing and you're getting along, and then Thanksgiving comes around, but you're like, I really can't invite you to Thanksgiving. Does that mean that it's not meant to be?
It may not mean it's not meant to be, but I think at that point it kind of shows you that there are some reservations about that individual. Like if you have that vibe, like as John said earlier, if you have that vibe, there shouldn't be that hesitation to kind of be like, hey, come through to this. It should be almost natural.
Yeah.
But as soon as you kind of like pull back and be like, nah, move too fast, it could be a reservation with the girl, man, or whoever you're dating, or it could be a reservation with yourself. Because it could just be, having a fear of commitment or a fear of putting yourself out there too much and bringing them around family too fast. So it could be a litany of things.
Yeah, I think I'm glad you said girl or man, because what I was thinking about, I watched this show a while back on Netflix called Master of None, and it's like the Aziz Ansari show, and it's actually the show that blew up Lena Waithe's career. If y'all don't know Lena Waithe, she's a super, super dope actress, writer, producer. She does it all. The latest show that she has is called The Chi on Showtime. It's a really, really good show. But basically, she had this episode called Thanksgiving that she directed and starred in. And if you guys haven't seen Lena Waithe, she's a very out woman. She's out of the closet. So in the Thanksgiving episode, she struggles, like, over the years, she sort of like figures out her sexuality, and she knows that she likes girls. Her mom, the actress who plays her mother, sort of expects her to come home with the boy. So even for people who are, in the LGBT community, Thanksgiving can mean something completely different for them, because maybe they want to bring that person over, but maybe the parents don't want to accept their sexuality, so they don't even have a choice, So it's kind of, it's interesting for the people who are in those communities and who have to deal with those complex dynamics.
And also, it comes to race too, because like my mom, only thing she says is like, don't bring home no white girl. And it's like, I mean, just naturally I'm attracted to my beautiful black queens, so that's not gonna be a problem. But like, for the person who is attracted to Caucasian women and they're in a house like that, 'cause I'm not the only one. There's a lot of, that's also a challenge. Like you vibe, you in love with this girl, but she's white, and your family wants you to date somebody black. That's another challenge. I want to know. I've heard like stories, but like I just think that's interesting because it's not. It could be that, or like when Asian, dates somebody like black or Indian or that's not Asian. That's always
so basically interracial dating around the holidays.
Dating,
I guess I can speak to that probably. Obviously, I've never had that problem though personally. Not because my mother or father anything like that, but my aunt was actually the first person to tell me when I was 8 not to care about who the color of skin that I date, basically, and whoever I feel I vibe with the most is who I should date. So I should never care about that. And she told me whoever, I'm saying exact words where, if anyone gives you a problem with it, let me know so I'll punch them in their fucking mouth. Those exact words. And I live by it. So as you guys have seen, like I date whoever crosses my path where I feel meshes well with me personally as an individual on a different kind of level, where I can wake up to you, talk to you about anything and everything. So when it comes to holiday stuff, I've never feared bringing home anybody because they understand that like it's not about the race of who I'm bringing back. It's about the person behind all of that. So
that's dope.
Anyone that I've brought home, it's always been they look past who their culture for the most part. They also want to know like about the culture, of course, because they want to learn more. But they look more towards like, why am I dating this person? Like they want to learn about the person as an individual. Like y'all know my ex-girlfriend Vincenza. Hi. She's a great woman. So like people like her, they love and they want to bring around more of, and that's the people that they see me with and enjoy me being around. So
and you're just for everyone who's listening, your ex that you're talking about, she is
Italian.
She's Italian. She's white.
Yep.
And you felt comfortable bringing her home to your family.
Yep.
Did she feel comfortable bringing you home to her family?
Yeah.
That's super dope.
Like I think my first time out there in Buffalo, her mom actually invited the entire family over. I thought it was gonna be like immediate family. It was cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents. It was everybody at one time.
Wow.
And I was nervous, of course, being the one black person in this whole damn city for the moment. And I was welcome with open arms. Like as soon as they walked in, they gave me hugs, kisses on the cheeks, the whole nine. And not one time did it come about race. It was more just about like learning who I was as a person. And I fell in love with the family as a whole. So I still visit now. I still talk to the family apart from her. Nowadays, just kind of like, because they made me feel so great about myself and like validated more so that like I was able to be accepted elsewhere as a black man as opposed to just being like a black man. You know what I mean? Like
that's super dope, and that doesn't always happen like that.
It doesn't.
Yeah, and I think my family is similar. They want to make sure that the person that I'm seeing comes from a good background. But by what I mean by a good background is like, is the person like kind? Is the person compassionate? Is the person patient? I don't think that they ever really cared about the race or background of the person that I dated. You know, because I'm Nigerian, I think, I don't know for a fact, but I think that my family would probably vibe better if the woman is also Nigerian, because there's just some cultural things that if I dated a non-black woman or a non-Nigerian woman, that the woman just won't have. Like our native language, for instance. You know, if the woman I'm dating spoke the same language, that would be great, because you know, she could feel comfortable just calling up my mom and speaking in English and Igbo and kind of going back and forth. But you know, my mom obviously speaks fluent English, but just having that
connection,
that connection of like my dual identity, that would probably be better.
Yeah, I always think with the bringing, I feel like like when you could bring the person around your family, like it's like I don't think it's something that you could time, or it's something you just know. Like when one of my exes I had, y'all know who she is, beautiful black queen. Like when I was dating her, I just, you know, everything just felt so good with her. Like I just knew, like, don't laugh, we laughing at. It's my beautiful black queen.
Go ahead, man.
African queen
at that. Yes, from Gambia. But
shoot your shot, bro.
Nah, but yeah, it's like I just knew, like, she was like everything. I liked everything about her, and I knew my family would like her. Like it was just like I just felt it was right, and like I was proud to have her. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't feel a need to hide anything. Like I don't really indulge all my love life with my mom, you know, or my family. So like, but with her, I felt like it just felt right. So I did it. She came to, you know, one of my Thanksgiving things, whatever. My family met her, and I see, you know, my mom still asks about her to this day. It's been like 5 years at least, maybe 6.
I agree with you. I think it's all about timing and just a feeling.
Yeah.
I don't think time is synonymous with anything personally. I think like for example in college, like dating in college goes by a lot faster than dating outside of college. You're living dating with the person. Like your outside of college dating life is like I'll date nights, you know, a couple times a week here and there, whatever. College, you're there with them day to day. There is no I'll see you tomorrow. Like I am time today. You can stay over and you can have those moments. So things go by faster, and that's why I relate things to life. Where it's just like, if I feel a certain way at a certain moment, I'm gonna go with that and I'm gonna rock with it and see how far it takes me, as opposed to it's not enough time yet. Like we'll see what happens later in the future. Like you don't know what happens tomorrow. So I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, but honestly, if I had to put a time on when to, like, how long you should be dating somebody before you do that, I say in an adult life, I say at least 6 months of getting to know somebody. You know, like I think that's like a good like standard time. That's enough time where, you know, even if y'all busy, you know, 6 months of talking, you know, you're gonna know the person, you know, at a good enough level, and you're gonna have that's a good enough amount of time to get that vibe, whether or not you feel that, you know, you could introduce them some of your family, you know, and stuff like that. I think 6 months.
Yeah. And I mean, this is a pretty dope conversation, because it's taught me that Thanksgiving it's more about the people. You know, the food is great, the food is important, but you know, you can like turkey, you can not, but it's really about the people that you're spending it with and the moments that you're creating, the time that you're sharing, and just making sure that those experiences are with the people that, you know, that you care about and that you want to keep in your life. But I think on this note, we're going to wrap up the first episode of the BreathMint podcast. Thank you guys for listening. And we will.
I can't do the. Okay.
And yeah, thank you for listening. And I hope y'all listen to the next episode coming up.
Yeah, a lot more to come.